Hello, we are going to go over some vendor information on your account. So let's take a look. If vendors are going to be people, let's say that you can say borrow things from. Maybe you borrow things with, you offer things to each other. A lot of times, like people do it, like let's say that you have 200 chairs, but somebody has the exact, down the road, another vendor has also 200 chairs. So if you have a large event, maybe you borrow some from them if you need 300 for a weekend, that sort of thing. Sometimes they offer like special things like face painting, and you don't have face painting and you want to add it as an option for your customers, that sort of thing. Um, First, we'll go over, there's a couple different ways you can do this. First, we're going to go over how you add a vendor if they are not with InflatableOffice. I know it happens, so let's do that first. Um, so here's a list of vendors that we currently have. Of course, this is a fake account, so you'll see it's all fake vendors. But let me add a vendor here, and there's a few things that you'll have to have. Of course, the company name, you'll make it active. The markup is if, like, let's say it's a $200 item, but you want it when it comes through to you, when the customer sees the price, maybe it's, it has the markup price with it. So maybe it's $220 on your lead, on your event. If you have more than one location, the contact name, maybe at this company, you usually speak to Bob. Their information, email's important because you do a lot of communication that way. If they have special items that have required deposits, if they're going to deliver to you, or if they're going to drop it off at the customer. Staffed, I think staff would be a good example of something like face painting or something that they need to stay there because that's part of the service. So you can fill this all out, and then you save it, and then it'll always show up as a vendor as an option on your account. Then let's say you're on your inventory and you'd be like, all right, I do want to add that face paint. Whoops, nope, that's the wrong button. Add vendor item. So I'm on the inventory, add vendor item. Vendor items you don't own. And I'm going to show you how to set this up. So face paint. And say you have five different face painters to choose from. Now here's, you can put the pricing here, and I'm going to do every hour. All right, so here, just as you see, it looks very similar to a regular item, but you're going to see little differences here. So here's where you pick the other vendor. Say, okay, this is Gabby's item. And then this is an important spot. You don't have to put it in a category, meaning you don't have to put it on your website, and it will not count towards your subscription for rental items. So let's say I just have listed on like our packages or party events on my page of like, ask us about our face painting, and then they would reach out to you and you would add this item to the lead, to the event. But let's say, no, I wanted to show up on the actual website so the customer can add it to their cart. And so I'm just going to say it's under packages, and that is going to count towards your inventory because it's going to show up on the website like it's your own item. So the difference is, again, no, if you don't add a category, not against your inventory. If you do add a category and it's on your website, it does count against your inventory. So there we go. And then you would just save it. But it wants me to fill out a category now because I already did. And then that's how you just do, you set it up the same way. You can add images, descriptions, everything else, would look the same here. So let's close out of here. Now, let's say you have a friend down the street that you are going to do this, be vendors with each other, and they do have IO. The difference is, so let's say you're going to come here and be like, all right, I want to share my Bob doesn't have any obstacle courses, so I'm going to share all my obstacle courses with Bob. You'll go to the item and you'll go to advanced, and there's a spot here that says share the item. It's not shared yet. So I want to say, do I want to share it with anybody in my vicinity that has IO, or just specific companies? I'm just going specific companies because I'm not going to offer it to everyone that, is in my territory, in my area. So, I think we have a demo rentals in the area. Demo rental. There we go. See, that guy's just 2 miles away. I'm not going to pick the one 5,000 miles away. There we go. So that means what will happen now, I'll save this. Now when Bob logs in, I believe he may get it. I think he may get some sort of alert saying, hey, somebody shared items with you. But you can tell Bob, say, hey, I shared an item with you. He will go to his inventory page, and there's a filter called, you've probably seen this, you wonder what it meant, available vendor items. Any vendor items people have shared with you would show there. So that's the benefit of having this set up as with two people that are both with IO. So you would just come here and you would click on your available vendor items. You would click on, they would be showing here. You click on one, and when you click on it, it'd be like, hey, this is, shared by so-and-so. Do you want to add this to your inventory? And you can click on it and say yes. Now you still would have the option to add a category or not to see if it, if you wanted to go towards your subscription or not. That's like the basic setup between the two different situations. If it's a non-IO vendor and an IO vendor. Now, just to quickly show you what it would look like, let's say I go here. Oh, no, I want a new lead. And let's take a look. Your vendor items will show up a specific way. Let me see if I can find any. Oh. So if you were to add a vendor item, it will show you who you're getting it from. You know what, I'm going to, that's okay. Just fill this out real quick. Do I not have an address? No, 1, 2, 3. Name, Akron. Here we go. Surface. Save it. Save it. Okay, so we have this set up. We're going to borrow these 10 tables from this other company. Here's where you could have in your email center, there's auto emails that can go out to vendors saying, hey, do you have these 10 items available on this date? And they can respond to that. Also, once it's all said and done, you like say this is a confirmed event, you know it's going to happen. You can also send a PO out to your vendor. So you do that. I don't think I have a name. Maybe I don't have a PO saved, but that's where you can do this from. You can add one here. Let me, real quick, make sure I have a PO. I do. No, it's for Cleveland. Maybe this is Akron. Sorry about that. Add PO. Akron, default, save. Let's go back to events. Now that should show, hopefully, purchase order. Yeah, I should know. And then here's the purchase order. It's telling them, usually would have a price in here. You can put a price in there and send that to them. And then it'll have them sign it just like a contract, like a customer. And then if you want to see your emails for vendors, you go here, search for vendor. As you see, there's nothing, excuse me, nothing here. So here's probably one of the main ones you want to turn on. Is this available? That sort of thing. Now, something that's a little different though. This is you will use this mostly like, let's say like the vendor is not with IO. If the vendor is with IO, they will get what's called a vendor lead in their account saying, hey, this person, it'll look just like this, and it'll say like vendor lead up here somewhere, and it'll say all the same information, so that this vendor has it in theirs as well. The difference is like if this customer cancels, or if something happens that the updates on the original lead, it would not update for you. So that's where you would have to stay in contact with the vendor. If something changes, if they change the amount, if it gets canceled, changes the date, even, I believe, you would have to contact the vendor and say this has changed. So their vendor lead will be like a holding place, but it's not going to update exactly when the original lead updates. So keep that in mind. As usual, I think I've said at the end of every video, have any questions or having a problem setting this up, contact support. The best way probably for this as well, it would be email. Just let us know, what you're trying to do, and we can help you get it set up for you. All right, thank you.